Hello, 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 hello. So, this will be a divine masculine and divine feminine reading. So, we all have those energies a part of ourselves, but it is good to just, get that energy, understand that energy. So, that's what this reading is all about today. Really quickly, before we get into the reading, I would like to ask you to go ahead and like the video if you are enjoying it here. If you want to see more videos, the content can't keep coming if people are engaging with it. So I'll just like stop or whatever. But if you all do like the readings, then I would appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the reading. Okay, let's shuffle. So we're just gonna shuffle to see what angel numbers are, different energies are you gonna be seeing. Trying to get some, you know, more of a reading on, what you'll be going through and whatnot. So the first card that we have here is the card 1, 2, 2, 1. So if nothing else, I appreciate if one of these angel numbers come out that you like or that you seen and or you just like the meaning of, just go ahead, like I said, to leave that number as a hashtag. So if you like 1221, and you can leave it before you actually figure out the other ones, like whenever you feel called to one, or after you've seen them all and heard the meanings as well. Okay, the next one we have is 4141 habit. 4141 habit. So what habits are you entertaining and, things of that nature? Okay. One more. Okay, and we have the card 9-9 truth. The card 9-9 for truth, and also, the energy of 9 is in, just the karmic cycle and everything of that nature. So, have some cards that fall out here. So I'm just gonna. But yes, as I mentioned, go ahead and just write down in the comments what number you feel connected to, and or numbers that you have been seeing repeatedly as well, and things of that nature. Let me get this out the way. But yes, that would be greatly helpful, not only to yourself but also to the channel, obviously. So we're going to the number. Let's start with a 1, 2, 2, 1. The energy of 1, 2, 2, 1. The energy is a reminder from your angels that you are not alone. They are reaching out, holding your hand, and guiding you through this period of conflict. You need to let go of any conflicts or burdens that are hurting your inner peace. This may be a moment to extend compassion not only to yourself but to others in your life. Your light is beautiful and should be shared with others. So, this upright energy of the 1221 is about cooperation and community. It's about, being supportive and having those loving relationships show up for you. Because of those meaningful connections that you have, like show up with that symbiosis. That's why it says, symbiotic energy. The symbiosis, there's the energy of like giving and taking, and just thriving connections that matter and that support you. So the affirmation for this card is deep soul connections are welcome in my life. Deep soul connections are welcome in my life. Deep soul connections are welcome in my life. If you are someone who resonates with that number 1221 and that feels like what you're looking for, hello to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. If that feels like the energy energy that are radiating and are wanting to call in. Drop that in the comments. So the number 4141 is here, and it is the energy of habit. Right, that's the one in the center. Is the habits, right? So it's time to take a moment to reflect on what you're doing, and asking yourself, are you working towards your joy, or are you simply working to work? So your purpose here on this planet is much greater than being just another cog in the machine. Break the habit of monotony. Start new routines that allow you to invest in your own well-being. So right now, you're definitely looking for the routines and habits that have you just reevaluating where you place your energy and just breaking whatever negative patterns that may have been around, and you feel very motivated and inspired to just fulfill this work, whatever creative work is really deep inside you, and you're wanting to use that to change your surroundings, but also the surroundings of that ripples out in the world when you do amazing things. So your affirmation here is, I can always change for the better. I can always change for the better. Hello, hello, hello to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. So if you resonate with the number 4141, your affirmation is, I can always change for the better. I can always change for the better. That is your energy. Now we're moving down to the energy of the 9. A 9. If you are resonating with the 9 energy, is definitely a very complete energy, right? So the energy of 9 is about truth. When you learn the truth, you're whole and complete, or no one can put anything over your head. I feel like all of these cards really go together in a positive way, allowing the right connections that are symbiotic in nature, that are not, overbearing or taking too much from you. Making sure that you're evaluating your habits and also leading and living your life from a place of truth. So the 9 is the sign from the universe to just pay attention, and the forces that you feel may be just attempting to guide you to a better understanding, like maybe your angels that it talked about in 1221. Is that energy of just intense personal development and growth, especially when it's time to make big life-changing decisions. So it's definitely the best time to make any best choices for you, your future, and anything else that you would need just to tap into your spiritual side more. So ask yourself, what feeds your soul, and are you living truthfully? All of these cards really are leading you to that energy of, let one chapter end and a new one begin, and don't be afraid to write your own truth out on this path of life. You do not have to do what others want you to do. Like, you're being particularly guided to find your true path in life. That's the upright meaning of the card 9. So it's the energy of just connecting to your higher self and letting that be your guide, like living from your place of ultimate truth. Let that be your light in this world. So that energy is like a period of powerful growth and just transformation. The energy of seeing more, knowing more, and just cycles coming full circle. So the affirmation is, I owe no one explanations for doing what is best for me. I owe no one explanations for doing what is best for me. I owe no one explanations for doing what is best for me. Girl. Another deck just dropped. So I'm gonna shuffle this deck a couple times so we can loosen that energy up and see what wisdom. We have the wisdom deck here. At the bottom it says co-create. It's that energy of just co-creating with spirit and see what you come up with, and letting spirit be just a fun energy that you bounce ideas off of. I love that energy of just that's the symbiosis energy that 1221 was talking about. So maybe if you feel go to that one, that energy will come up again. So let's see. I want to get one card for each to see specifically whichever one you resonated with. I feel like this is a pick a card reading, quite frankly. It's like a divine masculine and divine feminine pick a card, because this energy is one where you can 100% 100% choose. While these things come together and you can have the whole reading, you can say, I feel more called to this one, and I will, have each card laid out depending on which card you chose with the angel number. So this is like a pick a card reading. Okay, let's go ahead and see which one do you get for 1221. What wisdom card do we have for 1221? 1221, let's see. Okay, so the card that just came out for this one is the card of community. Community, very heavy energy of community, symbiotic relationships, and pouring into what really pours into you. So this is the number 8 on this community card, and totally on this one your number is 6. So you may be just seeing those numbers as well. If you don't completely see like the 1221 all fleshed out, you'll see like 6 or 8, just something to let you know you're on the right path. So 4141, which is 10, but we're also gonna get another card and see what wisdom is there for you. Okay, so for the 4141 card, we have message in a bottle. That is hilarious to me because I actually just thought about 411, and then it says message in a bottle. So typically, I don't know how old you are watching this, but that 411 line that you could call to get information. And then we have the message in the bottle here. Very, very, very spirit is very funny. I just can't make it up. But let's go for 99 and see what is your wisdom if you chose 99. Okay, if you chose 99, your energy is higher power, the energy of higher power. So 9 is such a powerful cycle that even this gets you back to 9. Also, the number 4 is here. Just something to think about. But let's go ahead and just understand the energies that are just within the cards that specifically came out here. So the energy of the 8, which is the energy of community, which if you were here in that, if not, you can just rewind when this is uploaded. But I literally, the 1221 talks about those connections, not that you just have on this side, but it's also a spiritual connection that you have. So the essential meanings for the card of community, I'll just hold it here while I talk about each one so that this is card for the card 1221. Or anyone that feels connected, this card is all about belonging and just being seen and understood by others. So like-minded connections is that energy that you are within, right? And it's like whoever is like, it's the energy of soul family, right? And then it's a sense of family and friendship and just knowing your place within this world that you're creating and these affiliations that you are creating. And it feels like so much more so much better to be in just an affiliation with this group of people. By nature, we do have our own, social functions that we like to exercise, of course. So that energy, when you're in a community, everyone has an important function. And when you are acting in that, like you're just living in your truth, the 99, right? You're living in that. It's all about letting you know that, you matter. And that membership in a group provides a sense of belonging. Like people do, want you around or want to help you or just think you have a greater purpose that would help the fulfillment of all. So you could be, just a part of a spiritual community, an artistic one, or like I said, it's just your spiritual guides that are coming to, provide you with everything that you need. If it is an artistic need, or a spiritual need, or just help closing a cycle, beginning a new one, the energy that you can partake in with the community is, pulling what you need from the community. And also just the energy of, prosperity. For this card, it's like, whenever you're in a community of just like-minded others, there is a powerful opportunity to reap great abundance. It's that energy of, like I said, what also when you are giving, you know that you're receiving. So you don't even have to ask like, what can I get from this? Because you know, just by, giving to a community, that is also you receiving as well. And it's so many ways for you to receive, right? So obviously there's a greater feeling because of your accomplishment and just knowing that you have purpose and whatnot. But don't try to be all things to all people, and just choosing your role and serving from a sense of just authenticity. At that point, not feeling like you have to be all things to all people, things of that nature. Just being yourself and letting that be good enough for whatever group you're in. So if you are in the 4-1-4-1 category, if you connected to that, or this is just your whole reading because you connect to everything, your message in the bottle energy is about, just communication, a sign. That's why I love to do, the angel numbers, just because it gives you like a clue into, seeing little things that you can grab on to throughout your day to let you know that it is done. And so the energy of, this message in a bottle is a Cleedon, a Cleedon, Cleedon. It's an ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker. A Cleedon. So it's a communication, and basically a way that's pointing you to your highest good. But when spirit is sending you the signs, when you're asking for them, it'll come through, different messages, and like even through me or through other videos that you watch. The speakers, like I said, may not understand. They are delivering these messages like innocently to you, and are just, trying to point you towards your highest good. But your spirit directly led you to certain things so that you can allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, or omens, and different things like that, so that you are able to recognize, like, it may come to you as like a bird flying by, or a logo on a truck, or a song that you like, or numbers. Expect different confirmations that you are pointed in the right direction. That is the energy of the message in the bottle. Expect your confirmations. The spirit right now is telling you that your message is spirit hears you and the reply is favorable. So you may be having that energy of just wanting to balance your energies and understanding or hoping, and realizing that you don't have to hope anymore, that yes, spirit is hearing you, and yes, spirit is making sure that you are taken care of in the highest form, right? So prosperity message for this one is that you're definitely directly on target with your purpose and your passion, and you are coming into alignment with your destiny, and spirit wants you to know that you're on the right track. So whatever it may be in the omen like world, it could be a call, an opportunity, a message from someone who was old, like I said, dreams, music, whatever spirit feels is the best thing to lead you to your greatest desires, to let you know that spirit has been listening and that you are heard. So yes, that energy is there for you, as well as the number 4 down here, which is higher power, which is actually amazing when it comes to the truth card. So because higher power is definitely the truth, the way, the light, and type of energy. That's why it says that. It's a very famous quote, right? So the conscious contact with a higher power. So it's not just about knowing that God or that higher power, whatever you want to call it, Ori or whatever. It's so many names in different spiritual traditions, but whatever you want to call it, is more about the conscious contact, right? And that presence of the divine. You always know that source energy is always with you, because it's literally your life force energy, your chi energy, your pranayama energy. They say that in yoga, but all of this is the same thing, to let you know that source energy is in all things, right? And the energy of, like I said, making a conscious contact with the higher power, and making your own name for it within yourself, and giving it that name so that you can speak boldly with it and collaborate. I know at the bottom of the deck was the co-creation. The co-create card was just sitting at the bottom of the deck. can work together. And it feels effortlessly and free because you're able to, read the signs, which you may be in that energy of, just message in a bottle, where you're not ignoring the cause of spirit, and instead you are committing to a partnership with spirit. So, just this card just reminds you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and just make things happen for yourself. And you have an immortal soul, and you are definitely a gifted human, and you have a life through that higher power that is expressing itself through you. So it's nothing that makes that higher power happier than you being able to live in your most creative, fun energy. So it's not really about you deciding how you carve that out for yourself, because it's like, I feel like there's a million ways, or a billion, however many people are on the planet, there are that many ways to get to spirit, to create with spirit, and to thrive with spirit. So I definitely believe that we can do that, and we can overturn like the energy of the vibration, and let that be a common, well-known thing, and not just saying that, well, some people get to live with their passions and do the things that they desire and other people don't. That's not what spirit is about. Like I said, as many people as there are that many ways to get to whatever your highest desire is. And if spirit has planted it in your heart, there's a reason for that. So it's just about, just asking, just through your own meditation moments, asking, what is the highest good for all? What is the highest good for myself? And how can I serve authentically, truthfully? And, just about, after that, after you learn your truth, and say, hey, I don't care what anyone else thinks about this, but realizing that you are definitely protected and divinely directed. So your prosperity message for this would just be, sometimes work just flows through you, and when you're in that energy of just letting the higher power work through you and that source energy, it becomes easy, and ideas rush in, and inspiration comes from nowhere that you didn't even think you could access, because the higher power has the power to it all. So there's really nothing that you limit yourself to if you thoroughly think this through, if you thoroughly work with spirit, and different things of that nature. There's really, like I said, nothing you can't do. So now that we have that, I'm going to scoot these over just a little bit, and I'm going to get a tarot card for each one. I love this little pick a card reading, very much impromptu, divine, masculine, divine, feminine pick a card. I feel like people do love those readings as well, like the pick a card readings, but they take a lot of my time up. So this is the way that I just came up with to do it, a pick a card reading all at one time, just so I can see how you all are feeling this style. Okay, so let's shuffle and get one for each. One for each. Okay, so the card that popped out for the card 1221 is the card of the King of Swords. You see that? I don't know why it's kind of blurry. There we go. But the King of Swords is all about leadership, authority, logic, objectivity, and fairness. So it's that air energy. So you may have, just heavy air placement in your chart somewhere, or you're just learning to use your air, like wielding your mind. So the air element is all about mind, and this energy has a yes attached to it. So it's definitely giving you the energy to be wise and a just leader with the ability to make fair and impartial decisions for the good of all. So I feel like the energy of symbiosis is definitely coming in very strong there, because it's telling you that, when you are a part of this community, when you create this community, whether it's a spiritual, non-physical community of just the soul family that you are acknowledging that is helping you, the angels that you're acknowledging that is helping you, the ancestors, whatever you want to call that energy, groups of energies, right? Whatever that is, it is like understanding the power that it comes when you wield that sort of mind energy, and it's really not something that a lot of people take. So it's like that energy of being a leader, directing your energy, directing their energies, and doing doing it for the highest good of not just yourself, but for whoever you're dealing with, whether it's a job that you're giving to people in the physical, or jobs that you're giving to angels and, higher spirits that you are in communication with the higher spirit, not multiple, even if you handle it like the energy of the higher power and that co-creation that you do just with the divine, that you don't need any other energy to help you with. Just make sure that you are working with, the energy of the higher power with it's like the energy that keeps coming up in your card. It's like, how can I serve myself and serve others at the same time with the highest good? So let's go into the second one. Let's see what tarot card you get for the second. Okay, so the card that popped out for this one is the Five of Cups in reverse. The Five of Cups in reverse. Let me back it up some. Five of Cups in reverse is about acceptance, forgiveness, and moving on. So the word forgiveness means to forgive, to give up, right? So, and when you're looking at the connection with this, it's about habit, right? So if you have a negative habit of just talking about yourself bad, or different things of that nature, right? If you have that energy, this is letting you know to drop any bad habits and keep the habits that nourish you, nourish your spirit, and don't speak degrading about yourself. It's about, if you are moving on from your old self, not beating yourself or anything of that nature. So it says, don't regret the past, look around, new opportunities are all around you. So you can form new habits at any moment. And the number here that you had was the number 15 and the number 5, which is 5 and 6, but you see 5 two times, just letting you know that, hey, there's an energy here of change. The number 5 represents the energy of change. Even if you look at these numbers, 4141, both of those, if you add, separately, that gets you 55, right? So it's just the energy of change, not being afraid to change, not thinking that change is bad, and also just having that energy that, no matter what, you will always receive the messages that you need in order to thrive for wherever you are. So no habits and, nothing of that nature can really keep you down, because your commitment to yourself is so high, and you are committed to accepting yourself. I love that quote. What is it? It's like, give me the strength to accept the things that I cannot change, and to change the things that I cannot accept. I feel like that's it. So you're in that energy of, not being afraid to let things go and shine your brightest, and that increases your aura as well, if you can see that around that light body there. And now let's get another. Alright, and for the last one, are you ready? Are you even ready? Actually, we had a double pinnacle pop out. I ain't even gonna lie. We had a double pinnacle pop out. I mean, not pinnacle, but we had like a double ace pop out, which is crazy because this is denoting like the amount of new beginnings that are here for you. Both of these, the first thing that they say is just new beginning, a well running over. When you live in your truth, when you are, connected to the higher power, and you're getting your ideas and your downloads and your uploads, and you are just acknowledging spirit with, like I said, it's not, we all know that we have a connection to spirit. So in the moments where we're thinking to ourselves, or even thinking out loud when we're by ourselves, we're in communication with spirit. But like I said, maybe you're giving a name to your spirit so that it knows to awaken even deeper in you, right? Do you ever feel like you are so close to really living your truth, but you really need that spirit that's inside of you to really wake up, so that all of these things, like your cup, that ace energy, your cup can really run over. And that energy of not just knowing that you have the ideas and the wellspring of cup energy, but being grounded enough with the ace of pentacles energy in order to be able to physically ground that reality. So you are the only one that has two cards. I feel like that 9-9 followed up by the 1-1, letting you know that once the 9 in, what begins? A new cycle at a higher beginning. So after the 9, it only begins again at 10. And then, it goes up and up and up every time. After a 9, you have the 1, the cleansing cycle, the type of energy that is here for you. So definitely new beginnings, prosperity, material prosperity, emotional prosperity, because you get clarity when you have truth. 9-9, there's clarity, emotional clarity, spiritual clarity, and all of that energy can help you be more clear on what you want to manifest. So in the physical, so once you get started within your emotional body and your spiritual body, it is much easier and clearer for you to manifest. If you are carrying around a lot of baggage, it doesn't make it harder for you to manifest. Quite frankly, nothing can make it harder. But if you are living in like the waters, when we look at this energy of the waters, right? The waters are free moving, so sometimes they're here, sometimes it's there, it's up and it's down. So the stability emotionally helps you to understand that physically there are, grounding things that you need to do in order to bring in and call in that material abundance that is yours, right? And when you get emotional clarity, I like to think of I'll tell you this one thing, I'll read the quotes and then we'll leave, okay? So the energy of when you are co-creating and creating with the higher power, right? The higher power is like the chef in the kitchen, and your communication between you and the chef, right? You're the customer, and higher power is the chef. So the waiter that goes in between you both is the signs that you see, the videos that you watch, and all of that is your way of communicating with yourself, which is the higher power that is in you. You're communicating with that higher power through the signs and the symbols and the things that you constantly input into your mind. And the way that you know that the self, the higher power, the higher self in you is hearing you is by the things that it outputs to you. Like, so this number 9-9 or 1-1, all of that is specifically for you, and you may not know who that you is. This whole reading is for you if you want to take it that way, but specifically if you feel so called to the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, this is letting you know that your emotional stability comes from, like I said, seeing those signs coming from the kitchen, quote unquote, right? Spirit's kitchen. And realizing that it does take a while for, spirit to make a high quality meal that you say that you want. But as long as you don't change the order, don't do anything like that, the process is easier to manifest. The difficulty can come with us when we have so many ideas, we have so much love for everything that we do, and it says, love is the beginning of all wisdom. So your love for so many things does make you a multi-talented person, but you also have to have that clarity of being someone who is dutiful, like someone who tills the earth daily, day in, day out, and they don't miss a day. And or maybe they just set up a system where it runs as after they plant the seed, they trust in the higher power to go ahead and deliver. You understand? So it's really not about you being scared or, not understanding or, having that energy of maybe it won't happen, maybe it will. No, this is your promise, right? This is your promise that, yes, of course, I'm not even promising it to you. It's the higher energy in you that is making, this video and making all these signs to send them to yourself to let you know that you've been heard and your order has been received. And yes, Spirit will deliver it on the perfect time. What your only duty is to get your mouth already, and watering for the beauty that you will experience, the love and the clarity. It's about, staying solid. So after a change, I talk about this frequently, but after a change, when you change your mind, your surroundings start to change. So changing your mind is a way for you, like I said, changing is a way for you to send an order to Spirit. And the way that you can receive that order is by just sitting there patiently waiting and not changing your mind. If you send an order back and you say you want spaghetti, and then you change and you want fish, and then you change and you want steak, You can have all of those things, but every time you change the order, okay, it's not a problem. I'm going to scrap that order and begin again. That's how the higher power does it for you. It doesn't say have a stingy energy like, oh, well, you keep changing the order, so it's like annoyed with you. No, that's not the truth of the higher power. The truth of the higher power, it wants to deliver. If you change your mind, the waters, if you change your emotional body and you don't have that clarity, then spirit says, okay, well, you want me to deliver another material prosperity to you in a different way, so I will do that. But you start the process over and over again, right? So if you want to sit down and have one meal, one manifestation come out, be emotionally clear and know that it is happening for you. This is the new beginning. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. I am your favorite ASMR Oracle here, and I do hope that you liked the video and everything of that nature that I said at the beginning of the reading. Appreciate you and your time so much. Thank you for watching this pick a card, Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine Energy, reading. Appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.